Welcome back to Year 2, Spring, Days 3 through 5 of the Stardew Valley Min-Max and 100% Perfection Guide. Last time, we selected the Danger in the Deep quest from the Golden Walnut Room once again, and we will be completing that over these days, but this time, we're going to make it a bit more challenging and use a monster musk to increase the amount of enemies that spawn in the mines, and we will also try to make it all the way to floor 120 without using crafted staircases or even bombs. We will be relying mainly on the power of my favorite ring, the napalm ring, to blow up lots of rocks by just slaying enemies, and also, with use of the savage ring, we will be moving super fast from the speed bonus. Before we get started with the Danger in the Deep quest though, we must attend to another cycle of Starfruit wine that is ready, so we will be harvesting our oak resin tappers, crafting some more kegs, then placing them down and filling them all with more Starfruit. Let's go ahead and now get started with the day where we are taking care of our farm chores before we head out into the town. I will grab some hats from that chest right there, a good selection of hats, and I'm doing something I should have done a very long time ago and place a hat on that rare crow. The alien rare crow is the only rare crow you can place hats on, and you can also place hats on the horse. So I go ahead and give the horse a nice sailor cap, which looks pretty good. Then we'll go ahead and do a quick sweep of the trees in our greenhouse. We also have some ancient fruit and some coffee beans ready. And then I also had put in the fedora on the alien rare crow, which looks pretty nice. So I don't know why I've waited so long to do that, but there we go. We've got hats now on our horse and rare crow. I'm gonna ship off some gold star starfruit so that tomorrow we have some money to buy some deluxe speed grow from Sandy just in case we need that for anything. Then we head into town where I will accept a quest from Kent. Since we do need to level up friendship with Kent, I will for sure complete that one. And then I'm gonna sell some gold star starfruit to Pierre to get approximately 20,000 G. That'll be to get the deluxe shed. And then I'll also buy some jazz seeds, which we can plant where the garlic is currently growing, just to have them there. We can craft them into lucky lunches if we really want to. And then I'll give Pierre a gift before leaving, just a light beat. And then we'll head down to Kent and give him another gift and also give him that gold bar quest he wanted. And this is nice because we don't have much friendship with Kent since he just moved in. But tomorrow is his birthday, so tomorrow we should be able to get a good amount of parts with him. And I did give him 2 gifts this week, and normally you can only give NPCs 2 gifts per week. But if you do give NPCs 2 gifts, you can then give them a birthday gift on top of that. However, if you give them a birthday gift as the first or second gift, that will count as one of the limited gifts you can give them. So ideally, you want to give the NPCs 2 gifts before their birthday comes, so that birthday can count as the third gift. Of course, this won't work for NPCs that have a birthday on Sunday or Monday, since the gifts do reset on Sundays. Anyways, we're heading up towards the carpenter shop now. We'll grab some daffodils along the way, and also just check out all of these fiber nodes here just asking to be cut up. So we'll go ahead and do that, get some hay and lots of fiber, and then go ahead over to the carpenter shop. And one thing that happened pretty fast is we did stop at the swords real quick to give Krobus a gift, and we're at 9 hearts still with him, almost 10, so 1 or 2 more gifts should put us at that 10 hearts with him, and then we can give him a void pendant. Of course, we will have to purchase that for a whole bunch of void essence, but we should have plenty of void essence. We do make it to the carpenter shop where we're met with Maru's 8 heart cutscene, and we will be met with a dialogue option after she hurts us there, or shocks us, electrocutes us, whatever that was. But we do want to say it's okay, it doesn't even hurt, to get 30 points of friendship with her. And if we had chosen You'd Better Be, this hurts like crazy, we would lose 50 points of friendship with her. But that's okay. We go ahead down to Sebastian's basement now and give him a void egg real quick. And then last time we did pick up Robin's special orders to give her some hardwood to make a bed. So we drop off 80 of that, and then I'm about to purchase the big shed, but it turns out I need 550 wood, not 500, so I completely forgot that. But we only are 50 wood away, so a few trees should do it for us. We'll go ahead and chop these trees right here. But before heading back down to the carpenter shop, we'll actually head over to the North Railroad area and just harvest our oak resin tappers while we're up here. So we'll go ahead and start doing those. I did craft a few more tappers we can place down so we can get even more oak resin next time. We also have some maple and pine tar tappers up here that we'll harvest. And of course there is a whole bunch of debris that we need to clear, so we'll go ahead and do that at the same time. So it is taking quite a while. And also the trees are kind of hard to see through, so it's hard to tell which trees already have a tapper on it or not, but I'm doing my best to pause and try to look around so I don't waste any in-game time. And of course, as I'm going around, I'm harvesting them and trying to take care of the debris so I don't just keep going back and forth between everything. But anyway, next cycle for the oak resin tappers, I think I will try to plant some more trees up here, or even before that, because the trees do take quite a while to grow. Maybe I'll use some tree fertilizer just so we can get some more oak resin tappers going, because there still is quite a bit of space to fill up at this railroad here. So I might want to get on top of that just to get a whole bunch of more oak resin at once, because let's see, we only got 43 from this one, which isn't too bad. 43 kegs per week is pretty good, but we can still go even bigger. We'll go ahead into the carpenter shop now since we did get some more wood. We have at least 550 wood now. There we go. Go ahead and upgrade our shed to the big shed, and we'll probably build some more sheds. I don't know if I want to fill them with garden pots and plant starfruit in the sheds, or place kegs in the sheds. Of course, we can use other areas around the map to place kegs, but also with that, I don't want to get in the way of potential forgeable spawns. Like if we filled up the desert with kegs, we wouldn't get as many coconuts or cactus fruit spawning, or the bus stop area here, we might not get the seasonal forgeables, which might be a little annoying. With the seasonal forgeables, it's alright since we can grow those on the farm, and we can technically grow cactus fruit from the cactus seeds we can buy from Sandy, but I don't think there's really any other good way to get coconuts. Of course, coconut trees drop them, but not as easy as just foraging them from the desert. We come back to the farm here, organize our stuff, and then replace our garlic that we just grow with some blue jazz. We'll go ahead and skip over cycling some machinery and more organizing, then craft 41 new kegs. I want to leave 5 oak resin just in case we need it for any other reason. Then we'll go ahead and continue cycling our current kegs here. Currently, we have 222 kegs placed, so we'll be getting 222 starfruit mined, and then we crafted 41, so now we'll have a total of 263 kegs. We come to the tunnel here, and I've realized that at the bottom of the tunnel here, there is actually another row that we can walk on and place things on. So what I can do is remove all of these kegs here, place kegs one row up like that, and then have another row of kegs at the bottom here. This is, of course, a lot more space efficient than the way we had it before. I just didn't know that this bottom row we could actually place stuff, since I thought the tunnel here would be 5 tiles tall instead of 6 like it actually is, since the screen to the right, the outside bus stop area, is 5 tiles tall, and we can only fit 3 rows of kegs as we can see here. So that's interesting how the map transition, we get 1 extra space, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and place some more kegs there, since the road we can't actually spawn any forgeables on, so I'll go ahead and place the kegs there. Again, I don't want to block any forgeable spawns, although the kegs I placed to the top might since they are on grass, but that's okay. No big deal. We'll head over to the mines now, get started with the danger in the deep quest. I did craft and bring a monster musk with, which we'll use right away, and get lots of more enemy spawns this way. Of course, this first floor there's only 2 slimes, so not a good example right here, but we will try to slay the enemies, because of course once we slay the enemies there'll be a better chance of a staircase spawning. Although some floors, like check this one out, look at all those enemies. The monster musk definitely had an effect here. There is some radioactive ore, which is always nice, but there is already a ladder down, so we don't have to worry about slaying the enemies here. Of course, if there's a big group like this, I will try to slay them. I tried to also line them up with the radioactive ore explosion, but we didn't really get that to work out. But we also get the speed boost from them, which is always nice, so it sometimes might be worth it to actually slay enemies when we don't have to, just to get that extra speed bonus. And I know I did say that slaying all the enemies gives a better chance for ladders to spawn, but of course that is if we slay all the enemies, and slaying the enemies will take a very long time when there's lots of enemies, so usually it's just going to be faster to try to actually get the ladders to spawn, but of course the fastest way for that is to slay enemies and get the explosion and get the rocks to explode and get the ladders. Like, see right here, we're going pretty quickly down. We are actually getting really lucky with the pre-spawned ladders on the floors. We can see that we've gotten that on the last few floors here, already making it to floor 10. So we'll just keep continuing down. This floor is a little bit more tricky here, but we will try to slay some of these enemies, and we do get a ladder spawn, and from this slime right here, we get another ladder spawn, so that's lucky. We don't have to travel all the way to the right on that previous floor. In this floor here, there's still nice chunks of rocks to explode. This one here is kind of lacking some enemies, but we will head over to the bugs. The bugs can pretty much be insta-slayed with the hammer smash attack spam. And of course there was a radioactive ore node, which is always nice. You'll see me kind of do a little ring swap there, but I realized that I actually don't really need the increased luck, since I kind of want a whole bunch of enemies to spawn just for the fun of it. And having increased luck will actually lower the amount of enemy chances to spawn. So we'll go ahead and just keep the enemy slaying rings on, which is the burglars and napalm ring. And this floor right here, I decided to use a staircase. I know I said I wasn't going to use any staircases, but it kind of would really hinder the run if I were to clear that enemy floor. You'll see in a later day, on I think day 5, I will actually clear an enemy floor because I decided, yeah, why not? But on that one, the slimes take quite a while to slay, and it kind of just ruins the momentum of going down, so I did use a crafted staircase, so you'll have to forgive me on that one, but I'll try to use no more bombs or staircases going forward unless I really feel justified in doing so. And of course, I probably should mention that this is definitely not a very effective way to complete the Danger in the Deep quest. Maybe for another time, I'll try a better way and actually use a whole bunch of bombs, because of course, bombs and of course crafted staircases would be the fastest way. Just using a staircase on every level, you'll get to floor 120 in no time. But if we don't use crafted staircases, then bombs would be the next best solution. But I wanted to challenge myself and not really use bombs and just try to rely on slaying the enemies and trying to line them up with the rocks using the napalm ring, and also getting that speed boost from the savage ring to effectively get down without using staircases or bombs. We make it down to floor 29, the last of the ocean themed floors, and we will be starting on the dark floor soon. There is a ladder over there, but it looks like we get another ladder spawn from the enemy slays right there. So we're now on floor 31, the start of the dark floors, which are of course pretty annoying since we can't see, so we will have to do a little bit of ring swapping here to actually see what's going on. Although the time is already 1:10 a.m. now, those last few ocean floors had a whole bunch of squids on them, and the squids of course are a little bit harder to slay. They have a little bit more health and fly all over the place, so it was taking me a bit longer on those floors, and I didn't get as lucky as the first 20 or so, and we probably won't be able to make it any further. We probably won't make it to the next checkpoint, that is, which is floor 35, so I will just go ahead on back up on this floor, go back to the top, and then get my stuff organized to see what we want to bring back to the farm. With the last moments of the day, we'll give the dwarf a gift and then go back down to floor 31, see if we can get any more loot, and then pass out, moving on to the next day. We did sell some Starfruit, getting us 131,000 G, which should be more than enough to buy some deluxe speed grow with just to have tomorrow. And then we do move on to day 4 of spring, year 2. We will spend most of today completing the Danger in the Deep quest, although we probably won't make it all the way to floor 120 today. We'll probably have to finish it off tomorrow, but it is a super luck day today again. It was one yesterday, so 2 days in a row. That's pretty nice. But before we head off to the mines, we'll go ahead and skip over farm chores and then start cutting down these hardwood trees. and that does get us to 80 hardwood collected, which was for one of the special orders for Robin, so we go ahead and complete that now, skip over some more organizing and farm tours, and then can just get away from the farm now. We'll go ahead to Leia's cottage, give her a goat cheese to just keep giving her gifts to get more friendship points with her. Then we'll take the shortcut to the beach, and although we have every fish now, it doesn't hurt to keep collecting these crab pots here since it is pretty close by, and it's on the way to Kent, who we will be visiting next since it is his birthday. He likes to stand by this tree often, so you'll usually find him here, and we'll give him a gold star rabbit's foot for his birthday, which is a love gift. The rabbit's foot is loved by everybody except for Penny. Then we'll go ahead and warp to the desert, go ahead and give Sandy a daffodil as a gift. She does love each of the forageable flowers, that is the daffodil, the sweet pea, and the crocus. We'll go ahead and buy 850 deluxe speed grow, which should be a good amount to just have on stock, and then we'll also buy some starfruit seeds, just because we'll always need more starfruit seeds, and then we can go ahead and get the magic rock candy since it is Thursday, go back to the farm, go ahead and organize, put all that stuff away. Then we can finally head over to the mines and continue our danger in the deep quest. We left off on floor 30, which is the start of the dark floors, which can be a bit more annoying than the other floors, so I will have to do quite a bit of ring swapping here. I do get a nice lucky star floor here with a whole bunch of copper ore, so we'll go ahead and try to get as much of that as we can by slaying the enemies over it and getting the napalm ring explosion. But we will continue on, and I will be skipping over a bit more. You will notice a whole lot of more pausing and ring swapping here. Not mainly for the increased luck from the iridium and luck combination, but just for the glow effect so I can actually see where I'm going and what I'm doing here. After a bit, we do make it to floor 39. It did take a bit more time than I would have liked, but we make it to floor 40, the start of the jungle floors, and these first 10 floors here shouldn't be too bad since it's mainly the mushrooms, and the mushrooms get slayed very easily. The time is 2 p.m. now, which means we spent about 4 hours on those dark floors, so that's a bit longer than I would have liked, but these floors should go fast. The bugs also get slayed quickly along with the mushrooms. I'll go ahead and skip over a little bit, although we do run into some floors here where I'm slaying the enemies, exploding lots of rocks, but just am not getting very lucky with the staircases down. We go ahead and finally get one after slaying that bug right there and can continue down. We are getting a fair amount of radioactive ore, which is always nice. But you will notice that the time is already 6 p.m. now, and these last couple floors we got pretty lucky, but there were a few floors before that where I got pretty unlucky, and it's usually just one floor that'll get you where you spend way too much time on it, and then all the other floors you get down really quickly, but that's sort of what happened. It's alright. We go ahead down to floor 51 now, the start of the foggy jungle floors. For the next 20 floors, we'll have lots of spiders, which are a little bit annoying to deal with since they jump, and when they jump, you cannot hit them. And of course, we'll find the putrid ghosts on these floors as well. But you will notice I am trying to use a new sort of strategy where instead of pausing in my inventory, I use a salad, or you can use any food item, to just pause the game, because when you do right-click on that food item, it will pause the game, and you can have a much better view since the food pop-up window is a lot smaller than the inventory screen that kind of blocks what you can see around, but that's what I'm trying to do here. We go ahead and skip over a bit more, and we do find our first putrid ghost. You will notice that I'll have to strategically use my hammer and save the smash attacks for when it comes nearby, just so I can be sure to avoid it easily. And of course, I forgot to mention the reason I'm scared of the putrid ghosts right now, because if you'd seen the first Danger in the Deep quest that I did, you'd know that bringing ginger with, we can just use the ginger when we get the nausea debuff to completely get rid of it. But right now, I kind of forgot that, which is a big mistake, but I really don't want to restart the day. So I'm gonna go ahead and try my best to just avoid getting hit by the putrid ghost. We do have a good amount of immunity from the mermaid boots, which makes it less likely to get a debuff when we're hit by an enemy. But of course, that's all coming down to chance, so if we get hit, there's still a good chance we might get the nausea debuff, so I'll just avoid getting hit altogether. And this actually makes for quite an interesting playstyle here, because usually in the mines I just tank damage because it's a lot quicker and then eat food to heal, but avoiding the ghost is actually interesting. And of course here I do eventually mess up and will have this ghost come right at me, and I don't use the hammer smash attack at the right time and I get hit, and we do get the nausea debuff, so we're at about half health. I don't want to get slayed, of course, and have to restart the day, so I go ahead and just use a crafted staircase. We are on floor 65. It would be really nice to get down to floor 70 so we can just be done with the jungle floor, so I go ahead, skip over a couple floors, and then we're at 150, so I go ahead and craft 3 staircases, which should be enough to get all the way down, but unfortunately it was too late and I waste a staircase here and we pass out. So that previous day is a good example of a very not so great day. The luck wasn't too great. I could have played it a whole lot better, and it probably would have been a good one to restart, but of course restarting the day takes lots of real life time, and then I can't get to the future days as quick, so I go ahead and just keep that one, and will hopefully make this day a much better day. Today, however, is a bad luck day, and the last 2 days were super luck days, so if we didn't get much luck on those 2 days, then today must be even tougher, but we will see what happens. We need to make it 55 floors from floor 65 all the way to floor 120, so we will see if we'll be able to pull it off, because I don't want to do another day on this quest. I want to start doing more Skull Cavern dives so we can get more iridium, make some more money, and of course eventually we're going to have another cycle of Starfruit wine ready that we have to replace, and of course another harvest of Starfruit on the island that we'll need to tend to. We arrive at the mines and have 5 more jungle floors to get through. Hopefully it won't be too bad. I did bring the ginger this time, so if we do face off against putrid ghosts like right here and we get the nausea debuff, we can just get rid of it and not have to worry about having that, because that does stick around for 2 minutes, which is why it's so devastating. We do just ignore that one since we got a ladder down, and there's another ladder all the way over here, so that's convenient. We have just 2 more floors to go now. This floor is a larger floor, so it does take a bit longer than some floors. Of course, there's a lot of enemies, but we're not having much luck with the rocks and getting ladders to spawn, and there is another putrid ghost, but I am able to keep it away. We go ahead and skip over a little bit. Those floors did take a bit longer than they should have. It's already past 10 a.m. and this final jungle floor here is taking a lot longer than it should as well. I would have liked a ladder to spawn, but I guess the daily luck does affect the spawn rate of the ladders, so we might be getting a lot less than we normally would. We do get a ladder right off the bat here, already there for us, so that's nice. And hopefully these frozen floors won't take too long. The enemies do deal a lot of damage, which is the scariest part, but as long as we stay healed, it should all be fine. This floor right here is always a bit tougher to navigate because the hallways are too wide only, and often the rocks will block you, so you'll have to mine the rocks to get through, but that's okay. We get a ladder and another ladder and just continue down, skip over a bit to the final frozen floor where there was a ladder waiting already. We'll take a trip up and put some of our stuff we got from those frozen and jungle floors away, and we're on to the magma floors now. There are quite a few enemies on this floor here that we're able to slay and get a ladder right away, and on this floor right here I don't notice that there's already a ladder spawn, but eventually I see it and just go straight for it. Then we get to this floor and this first slay gets us a ladder, so that's nice. And then we're on a quarry floor, which is a little bit more annoying since there's only slimes, and the slimes always take a little bit longer to slay, but we do get lucky with the ladder right there. You'll notice that often we get a lucky streak, like 5 floors within about 30 in-game minutes, but sometimes the floors can take a lot longer, and this does bring us to the next floor, which ends up being a monster floor. And I pause for a second here and decide if I should actually clear it or skip it, but I don't actually have a staircase on me right now, so we have no choice but to clear it, so I'm going to speed this up as fast as I can. Of course, I want to wear the monster slaying rings for the loot, of course, but also for that speed boost. The napalm ring probably won't help, although it does deal damage to other enemies if they get in the explosion, so it might make it go a little bit faster. But with the hammer smash attack spam, where we are able to clear it within about an hour and 20 in-game minutes, since we started at 2:40, so that's not too bad. It didn't go all that long. And then we skip over a little bit more where we are met with yet another monster floor. So let's go ahead and speed this one up right away. The hope for these enemy floors is that the enemies are clustered together so I can smash a whole bunch of them at once rather than just picking them off one at a time. What kind of happens is I get the majority of them and then we're left with just a few remaining enemies. Especially the bats are a little bit annoying. They have a bit more health than I would like them to, but we eventually slay the rest of the enemies on that floor. And on this floor, we don't have to walk all the way to the right. There's a ladder waiting for us right there, which is very nice. And yet another ladder from the napalm ring explosion. And this floor does have a ladder already that I'll notice in a bit, but we go ahead and skip over down to floor 98, where we are getting another ladder and leading us to the spiral floor, which of course is one of the most dreaded floors, but we do get lucky and just get past it right away and are on another lucky streak of ladders here. Again, that's what happens. We get on a lucky streak, get a whole bunch of floors down, and then we're met with a floor that takes a lot longer than I'd like it to. But we're still making pretty good progress right here. I do think that having the increased enemies with the monster musk, having all of them, definitely helps with this challenge since we can get the speed boost pretty much all the time from the savage ring, and also the napalm ring explosion helps a lot when the enemies are slayed. If there weren't as many enemies, we'd just be mining with our pickaxe, which is boring and also takes a whole long time if we were to do just that. But we skip over a little bit more and we're getting a pretty lucky streak yet again here. We're at 10 p.m. now and we have about 10 more floors to make it down. But unfortunately this floor right here took me a bit longer than it should have, and I cleared all the enemies and had to mine some rocks to finally get the ladder down. And this brings us to floor 111 at 11:30 p.m. So we have 2.5 hours to make it down. 8 more floors it is now. So I think we should be able to do it, but worst case scenario, if we need to craft a staircase or anything, we will go ahead and do so, because there's no point in leaving off on 115 as the last floor and then just having to do 5 floors, come all the way out to the mines for that. Definitely not worth the time, so we will just finish it off right now, but hopefully we can get all the way to 120 without using any more staircases. We have the 5 final floors and 2 hours left, so we should be good, although the last few floors were pretty lucky, so we'll see if that luck continues. But this floor right here, there aren't many rocks, so it might be a little bit harder to get a ladder. It looks like this bottom right portion has a bit more, and a bit more enemies as well, so hopefully slaying these enemies will get a ladder to spawn from the explosion, and we finally get one there. That one took a little bit longer. This floor right here looks alright. It looks like we should have been able to line up that void spirit over those ores, but it moved a little bit too far to the left. Although these bats, hopefully, will get into a nice position where we can line them up over ores. Although we just barely missed that rock there. We got 1 gold ore right there from that bat. Hopefully this bat can get those, and it does. Now this floor here, there's some nice gold, although I don't know if I'll be able to collect it right now. We are very close to the bottom, but only have 50 in-game minutes. I get the darkness debuff, which is a little bit unfortunate, makes it a little bit harder to see. And of course the glow rings don't really help with that all that much, but it goes away fairly quickly, which is always good. And here we slay a couple enemies and do get lucky with that ladder. Unfortunately, this last floor ends up being a quarry floor, and of course the skulls are a little bit more annoying to deal with since they fly all over the place and are hard to line up over the rocks. But it looks like we have 20 minutes left, so I go ahead and just use a bomb to hopefully get a ladder. But we don't, and with the final 10 minutes, I decide we're not going to get a ladder down, so we're going to just use a crafted staircase. we do make it down to floor 120 to complete the Danger in the Deep quest. Hopefully we'll have some time to go back up and see what we want to bring back to the farm, but this does bring us to the end of this day. We did end up using a couple crafted staircases and a bomb, but that's alright because I really didn't want to use a 4th day for this challenge, and the next day does happen to be a super luck day, so we will be having a very nice skull cavern dive next time with double magic rock candy and using a whole bunch of staircases to get down deep quickly, so that should be good. If you are looking forward to that and future videos, do consider subscribing, and also feel free to leave a comment. Perhaps let me know if there are any other challenges that I can take on, maybe for the volcano, or the Danger in the Deep quest in the mines, or Skull Cavern, or whatever it may be. As always, thank you for watching, and goodbye.